Hola, buenos días.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
This is Barb.
And this is Estela.
And welcome to
Cafecito.
And Crime.
In the dark.
In the dark. In the dark. We're not in the dark, really.
We are.
Se fundió la luz de mi garage, and then Estela was like, should we turn on this light over here? Que quería traer una pinche candle. I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up, ni que estuviéramos con los ojos cerrados. Like, her fucking computer is bright.
It's dark.
It's not dark in
It's
here.
dark.
It's not.
Barbie. Ahorita esta luz is going to turn off because it's like on a timer and then it turns off by itself. Do you know how to turn it back on after it turns off?
Yeah, I click it back on from over there.
So you're just going to keep on getting up and clicking it?
Pretty much.
And I told her to go get a candle y no quiere la güey.
No tengo candles. Ya te dije por qué.
Yes, you do have one.
No, I have one that's burning, but I'm not going to go and bring it. No.
I can go bring it.
No.
Yes.
We're just going to go on with the episode. We already
y luego
did
me
the
prendí unas lucecitas todas pinches del Christmas tree that we've been having since for like as long as we've had this podcast. No, hombre.
They're on, amiga. No seas mala. A ver, let me turn on the other ones. Hold on.
A ver. Wow.
There? Girl.
Wow.
It's working, bruh. Mm-hmm. Like, that's bright.
That's bright.
We
don't need anything else.
Nothing else.
Okay.
Literally, it's not, but whatever. It is what it is. How have you been, sister?
I've been good. How have the view been?
I've been okay. I have been chilling, thrilling, villain. Mm-hmm. Just working, you know.
Taking it day by day.
Day by day. So I told Estela today that I wanted to know if you drink things with the straw, does it taste better? And Estela said no. And I was like, well, I've been drinking water with straw and it tastes better. So then Estela was like, bring me a straw for her water. Is she trying to test my theory?
No, it's just so you don't hear when I'm drinking water. Because, you know, usually when we drink water, we have to like, para que no se oiga when we're recording.
But anywho, how are you, everyone? So let me know if you guys think that things taste better with the straw. It's a theory. I think it's a theory. Y parecemos viejitas because we're both wearing our... Yo traigo mi pizza blanket y Estela trae la Buc-ee's blanket.
Oh, I thought it was Hello Kitty.
No, it's Bluckies.
This is Boosies?
It's Buc-ee's and it glows in the dark.
Oh, ahorita cuando se apaga la luz.
We're going to be fine. ¿Ya ves?
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know. I'm going to be talking to the wine en cuenta.
O sea, no vas a cerrar los ojos, güey. You can see me fine.
Okay.
And you're wearing glasses, no?
Yes.
Pues entonces.
Yeah, nomás estoy diciendo. I don't want to be talking vibes. Oh, no, I do. But una candle would have like set the mood more, you know?
No. Ya se están apagando las luces.
I'll bring you some candles.
So we have like a limited amount of time for you to talk fast.
Okay. Well, let's get right into this.
So tell us what we got today.
Okay, for today's case, we are going to Orange, California.
And Orange County or Orange?
Well, Orange is in Orange County. It's like northern part of Orange County, but it's called Orange, California.
I feel like we've been there.
We have. I can't remember exactly when, but we've been there because when I was looking up the fun, random, interesting facts, sí me acordé de unos.
I mean, you know what? I think that eventually that's going to happen to us because, I mean, we're going to end up finding places that are like double.
Yeah, but there's always multiple
facts. There's always multiple facts, yeah. So that's also awesome. Mm-hmm. But dude, like, I really do want to go to California. So, yeah, if I wasn't living in Texas, then I would move to California. Mm-hmm. I love California. I mean, it's just so beautiful there. Yeah. But if you would like to come with us to Orange, California. Again, then go ahead and grab your cafecitos with a straw.
And let's get started. So the fun, random, interesting fact about Orange is that the town's original name was Richland, which...
Ya se apagó la luz.
Ya se fue la luz, okay. Which was laid out to be a farming community. The town had
Richland doesn't sound right. Se oye mejor Orange, güey.
No, espérate.
Oh.
So the town had to change its name since there was already a town called Richland.
California?
Yeah.
What?
So, I mean, somebody thought more than one people liked it.
Yeah.
You know? So it is reported that the name Orange was proposed in 1872, and it was selected because it sounded nice.
Oh.
Even though at the time, the town's big crops were grain and raisin grapes. The first actual orange grove wasn't planted until 1873, and it became the main crop around the 1900s and later into the century.
So, espérame. You're telling me that the only reason que le pusieron orange was because they thought it was cool?
Because it sounded nice and it kind of fit with, I don't want to say the aesthetics or the vibe of Southern California, you know?
Okay.
So people do shit for weirder.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, that's cool. But I'm just saying that's crazy how that wasn't even like their major growing thing there.
No,
you know?
it wasn't at the time.
Like at the time, you know?
Right.
Que le hubieran puesto grape. No digo. I mean, or pasas.
No?
Raisin. I mean, no. I'm just saying.
Because, no, orange. I like orange.
Pues sí, pero it just is like.
But they made it work because then they planted.
Yeah. You know, so they probably got the idea.
Exactly. Now, the city of Orange was officially incorporated in 1888 with a population of 1,500 people. And today, actually, only a few orange trees remain in Orange County.
And that's a poop right there. They should have a lot more trees.
I know. But, you know, civilization and streets and freeways and all that stuff.
Sadness.
Yeah.
Because we need freeways. Like, come on.
Or trains.
Or we need trees.
We do have trees.
Yeah.
Orange trees.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I was thinking orange, but I was thinking Florida, because that's where they get the orange juice, the Florida orange juice. Mm-hmm. Then I was like, wait, that's Florida, not fucking California.
But it was once upon a time.
Yeah.
In Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Now, today's case is just, as always, like, for what?
Stupid.
It didn't have to go down this way. People are dumb.
Trash.
People don't think. People just be having guns around for no fucking reason. Why?
Girl.
Why does everybody have a gun?
I don't know. We live in Texas.
No, but it's not even in Texas.
Well, we live in California.
In this, you know, for this case, I'm like, and people just think carrying a gun is cualquier cosa, like toda así willy-nilly, like.
No, I think that
what?
Like, you have to get like some training and shit. Like I would be scared to just have a random ass gun.
Yeah.
Like without knowing
how to use it or the proper ways to handle a gun.
That would be scary.
Yeah.
Porque you could shoot yourself.
It happens every day.
Yeah.
I took a class with my cousin a couple of years ago. And it's scary. A mí me dan miedo.
I mean, I don't think guns scare me, pero I mean, if I knew how to handle one.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because I don't know how to handle one.
But if I knew, like, okay, so this is
and even then,
really
when we were
safety.
there, obviously then they talk about the history of guns first, and then you actually get to shoot one. Even holding it to shoot it, I was like, toda miedosa así.
No, wait,
but I'm a pretty good shot.
Yo bien miada.
Yeah.
No, yo me meo.
Yo también.
I get scared. No, y luego pues yo estoy bien pendeja. Everything se me cae. Te imaginas se me cae a la verga and I pop myself or something like that.
Or somebody else.
Yeah, I'm not even lying because, you know, a mí todo me pasa.
So let's begin with Diego Armando Gonzalez, who was born on April 20th of 1986 to parents Maria and Felix Gonzalez.
He's almost my exact age.
He's my sister.
No.
Oh, no. She's from 87. Never mind. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys are born on the same year.
In the same month.
Yes.
The same week.
Yes. 4 days apart. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. So, con él se me hace que eran 5. And obviously, the family lived in Orange, California. At the time of today's case, Diego was 17, and he was a senior at El Modena High School. And Diego was described by everyone who knew him as a good kid. He was responsable. He always checked in with his parents. He was funny. And he was also friends with everybody, especially at school.
We hear this every time and time again.
And in school, he was on the wrestling team, which was one of the best teams in the state. And he was co-captain.
Nice.
He was also dating a girl named Darlene Dominguez, who seemed to have been like a good match for him. I believe the two met during their sophomore year of high school. And they were known to be a good, cute couple. Not only did the two spend a lot of time together hanging out and such, but Darlene also helped Diego a lot with his academics. Like she would help him, she would tutor him. So
that is so cool.
After graduation, Diego planned to enlist in the military. And then after serving in the military. He wanted to become a firefighter. But in the meanwhile, he had gotten a part-time job at a grocery store to help out the family. On the night of November 9th, 2003, which was a Sunday, Omar, Diego's brother, picked him up from his part-time job at the grocery store, and they made it back home like around 10:30 en la noche. They were supposed to go out for a jog, pero después...
Wait, for a jog or a dog?
No, a jog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For a run. Because I thought you said dog. I'm like, what?
Why a dog?
Yeah, I don't know. They went to go pick one up. I don't know.
No, for a jog. They were going to go jogging. But after Diego received a phone call, he decided to go on the jog by himself. And he told his parents he was going to go out jogging and then he was going to come back later. Sadly, that was the last time that the Gonzalez's family would see their family member alive. Now, the following morning, Diego's family was worried when they realized that he hadn't come home
from the jog
from the night before. And even more so when they realized que no fue a la escuela.
Oh, okay.
Y luego, no nada más no fue a la escuela, but then he didn't show up to wrestling practice.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Worried, the Gonzalez's family reported Diego missing and then hit the ground running. Like they started looking for him, ellos. With the picture of Diego in hand, they knocked on neighbors' doors asking if they had seen him. And they also went around to other neighborhoods. They even were driving around past ditches, hills around the city, thinking que a lo mejor tuvo un accidente y a lo mejor he had crashed and maybe he was like in one of those areas. But there was no sign of him anywhere. At the same time as the Gonzalez's family was looking for Diego, the Orange County Sheriff's Department was also looking into the identity of a John Doe who was found deceased on Monday morning, November 10th. So we're going to go back right now to that morning. A couple of teenagers were skipping school and made their way to High Top Lane in Orange Park Acres. Now, this area had multi-million-dollar estates, and it was sort of remote. And High Top Lane was at the end of a cul-de-sac, and it was like a construction site, that sort of thing.
They were still putting houses and stuff there.
Yeah, I think they were building one. Y lo único que había, it was a driveway que estaba hecho. So it was an area where like young people would hang out and drink, and guys and girls would go and like make out and all that sort of thing. So as these teenagers made it to the top of the driveway that was there, they saw like un bulto, or like a dark figure on the ground. And as they got closer to see what it was, they realized that it was a body. And so they called the police. When the police arrived...
I bet you they're not going to skip anymore. Shit.
Imagine. So you're just skipping class and shit, and then you find a dead body?
No,
wow.
No, that's crazy. No, I don't want to imagine.
No, you're like, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
When the police arrived...
Because let me tell you why I would not want to imagine that. Because see, if I find a body, I want to like think that I'm like the cops y que voy a encontrar quién le hizo, like who did that to the person. So
I don't think you can. Because...
Of course not. So then I don't want to find a body, because if I do, then I want to be like, okay, what happened? Why was he there? So can you tell me what?
But they're just going to be like, lárgate.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And then that's it. They're just going to tell you, lárgate, y te vas a quedar con la duda.
Y luego, wait. And then how am I going to find out what happened to him?
Watch it on the news, girl.
And then what if you don't give me all the information?
Google.
No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Google. When the police arrived and surveyed the scene, they noticed that the victim was lying in a pool of blood. And it appeared that the body was of a young male that was possibly in his late teens or early 20s. The blood was coagulated, which let them know that he had passed away like a little bit before his body had been discovered. And also at the scene were 2 spent shell casings that belonged to an automatic weapon and a broken lighter. So not only had the victim been shot and killed,
what the fuck?
But he had also been burned.
What?
Which also let investigators know that whoever had done this was trying to prevent the victim from being identified and to cover up whatever they could from the scene.
So that they were trying to burn him, but they weren't successful?
Correct.
Okay. And with the lighter?
We'll get more into that a little bit later.
Okay.
Yes. So the victim had no ID on him. So they had to label him a John Doe.
A John Doe?
A John Doe. And it was now the Orange County Sheriff's Department's job to find out who he was and who had done that to him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the initial canvass of the neighborhood didn't yield any clues as to what had happened. So they turned their focus on identifying the body, which at this point was at the coroner's office. Once the autopsy was conducted, it was noted in the report that the victim had been shot twice, once in the forehead and the second inside the mouth.
Oh, shit.
And it was also determined that he was set ablaze post-mortem. Now, in hopes of learning the identity of the victim, the sheriff's department met with Orange County Police Department and worked with them to have a composite sketch done to have something to show to the public.
To see if somebody recognized him.
Exactly. On Wednesday, just days after John Doe had been found, Sheriff Mike Corona was giving a press conference asking the public for assistance in helping find the identity of the victim. And the sketch was shown, and they also gave some details as to the area where he had been found, and just like minor details, not like putting everything out there, right? This led to them receiving a phone call from a resident of Orange Park Lanes, and according to the caller, they remember hearing 2 popping sounds, or what they thought were fireworks, coming from the area where the body had been found, and also heard a car leaving. Which was around 1 a.m. This press conference was also happened to be watched by the Gonzalez's family member who spoke to Diego's parents and let them know that they should go see about, this John Doe.
¿Te imaginas? Like you're watching TV and you're looking for your son, and that's the last thing that you want to do.
Right. And then obviously, this family member was like, hey, I don't want to,
No le quiso dar información. Like,
no,
not to be like, yeah, that was him. Pero
no, see, like, hey, you just don't know. Like, I know you don't want to think that that's a possibility.
Because his family was probably not even looking at TV. They were out trying to find him.
No, well, they were watching. Well, it was también 2003, at that time, whatever, we all watched the news, pinche Primer Impacto and all this other shit que salían. So what people did then was watch the news on TV. So for somebody to be like, hey, they found a body, maybe we should go see if it's so-and-so, imagine.
Pero because a lo mejor el composite no estaba, like, maybe they weren't too sure. Maybe si se parecía, pero a lo mejor no. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because they're still hoping que él nada más se fue, o a lo mejor que está perdido. Right. Como dices tú, a lo mejor chocó.
Right.
Not that he's dead or burned.
Now, obviously, when they made it to the coroner's office, they did show them pictures of the body that had been found. And, it was Diego, their son, that, was now dead. So now that the John Doe had been identified as Diego Gonzalez, it was time to truly ramp up the investigation and speak to the people in his life, besides his family. One of the first people interviewed was Darlene Dominguez. Did I say that right?
No, you said Dominguez. Darlene Dominguez. There you go again.
Darlene Dominguez, Diego's girlfriend. Investigators learned from Darlene that they had dated, but they had recently just broken up como una semana antes.
What?
And as far as her whereabouts on the night that he was killed, she said that she had been at home with her parents and with her family. And her alibi was then confirmed by her family. So she was ruled out as a suspect pretty fast.
She was probably like, bro, I was just watching TV.
I'm just a girl.
Yeah, I'm just a girl.
Yeah. Investigators now we're truly at a standstill because they had identified Diego, but they had no leads as to who could have done this to him. I mean,
nobody really saw anything.
Yeah, he was well liked at school,
Yeah, nobody wanted to hurt him.
He was an athlete on a wrestling team. He was in high school.
Yeah,
who does it to a high schooler,
Yeah, definitely.
So they decided to speak to the family again in hopes that they would point them in maybe gather some more information that would be able to point them in a different direction. So when they spoke to Omar again, que viene siendo el hermano de Diego, they learned that Darlene wasn't the only girl in Diego's life.
Oh, he was a player.
It appeared that Diego had an on and off again relationship with a 20-year-old woman.
Oh, shit.
Named Veronica Paz, whom he had met at his job, working at the grocery store.
Okay. Eran co-workers, pues.
Sí, eran co-workers, pues. According to friends de Diego and Veronica had more of just like a casual relationship. It was never anything serious.
It was like her fuck buddy or something.
Right. Yeah, it was just a sexual relationship. Yeah. Pero que you're 21. ¿Qué le miras a un 17-year-old?
20. You said 20.
No, she's 21. I said 21-year-old woman. ¿Qué le ves a un 17-year-old?
No sé. Porque yo no tengo esos pensamientos, o no sabría decirte.
Yeah, exactamente. Be like, oh, want to hang out? Oh, no, I can't. It's a school night.
Bitch, don't play. That happens all the time. Every day. Every day.
It's just weird to me, you know?
Well, like that woman that got in having kids with her student and shit.
Yeah.
They do that a lot.
Yeah, and that's your teacher, bro.
Yeah, like, no, that's not it. Like, aquí in Texas, that's been happening very often.
That's gross.
It's so gross. Especially, there's one that I saw here in Texas. She even had a baby with the student.
Yeah.
Like 13 and shit.
Yes.
Girl. Okay.
Electric chair.
Yeah. Acid.
Come on.
Acid de los toes.
Toes first?
Toes first.
So Omar then told investigator Salcedo, who was with the Orange County Sheriff's Department, that on Sunday night, Diego received a call from Veronica.
Okay.
And that mejor, you know how they were supposed to go jogging primero, he said that he was just going to go jog at the end of the street and that Veronica was going to pick him up and they were going to go hang out. So así quedaron, right? So now with this new information, investigators went to the grocery store to briefly speak with Veronica, letting her know that they were investigating a possible incident involving Diego and they wanted to know about his whereabouts. So no le dijeron a esta que lo habían encontrado, ¿verdad? They just told her that, hey, lo estamos buscando.
Pues sí, a lo mejor lo miró en el Univision 23.
That's Dallas.
Oh, my bad.
Not California. So she did tell him that, yeah, I knew him or I know him, but that she didn't. She was like, hey, lo conozco, we work together, but I don't know where he's at. And she did agree to go down to the sheriff's department later for an interview and to give them any other information that they knew.
Sí les dijo que she was having a relationship with him.
No. She's like, yeah, I know him, but no tampoco. Like, because they were on and off. Like, they weren't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a real relationship.
No, I'm just saying, like, I mean, I would have been like, so are you dating him? Like, you know.
No, but nomás se fueron a...
But this is why I'm not a detective.
Yeah, but they just went to introduce themselves, you know? Just be like, hey,
yeah,
we're looking for him.
And this is why I'm not a detective.
Oh, yeah, exactamente.
Uh-huh.
Because you want to bust the case
no,
wide
I want
open.
to bust. Yeah, I'm going to ask all the questions. Quiero que me contestes ahorita mismo porque necesito saber dónde andabas ese día.
Yeah.
That's just me.
So, yeah, Veronica, she ended up going to the interview like later that same day. And at the interview, she was very cooperative. She let them know that the last time that she saw Diego was that night on Sunday. They worked a shift together or they were there at the same time. Investigators then let her know that it was reported to them that same night that Diego was last seen alive, he left his house to meet up with her. Veronica tells him that she did not meet up with him and sticks to her story that she didn't know where he was or where he went that night and where he was now.
¿Y dónde estabas?
When asked about her whereabouts on November 9th, she said that she was at her friend Kim's house and that she left around 1:30 in the morning to go back home, and that's where she remained the rest of the night.
Con la Kimberly.
Con la Kimberly, sí. Kim Gomez.
Uh-huh.
She shows genuine concern for Diego. And obviously by this point, they told her that, you know, he had been found dead and, you know, she's really upset. And she says that, you know, when they present her with a little bit more information, she says that nothing was going on between her and Diego and that she was actually dating somebody else at that moment, a man named Brandon Dante Perry. I don't know if she was nervous or had diarrhea of the mouth. I mean,
I do that all the time.
I was about to say, because then she started telling them about her relationship with her man.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll be the stupid ass.
Le hice sopa y él quería tacos.
Y él quería tacos y me pegó y nos peleamos y luego le dije que se fuera.
Por eso tengo esta rasguñada
You see
aquí.
this rasguño right here? Yeah, that's what happened.
She ended up telling them that she and Brandon had like an on and off relationship. And on their off time, she would date other people. And then that made Brandon jealous.
Yeah, that would be totally me.
Veronica.
Toda cagada, miada and shit. I'd be so scared. Be like, I didn't do it.
I have a dentist appointment tomorrow.
Yeah. Can I go, please?
And you have to go mentally prepare.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
I have to go look at the parking lot.
If she didn't do it, obviously.
Right, of course. I mean, no. Now, Veronica, al último, así quedaron las cosas. She left and she kept on just sticking to her same story, reiterating that that she was just willing to help in any way that she could.
The
she wanted to find out.
Like, girl, we don't want to know your problems. You can go home, girl.
It's okay.
It's okay. Go to your dentist.
For now.
Go to the dentist.
Now, her alibi was confirmed.
Estaba con la Kimberly, pues.
Sí, andaba con la Kim Gomez, pues.
Mm-hmm.
But something that Veronica said piqued investigators' interest. And it was when she said that Brandon would get jealous when she dated somebody else. Because remember, Diego and Veronica were known by others to also have an on and off again relationship. So could have Brandon known about that relationship and he got upset, and that's what played a part in what happened to Diego. So investigators worked on tracking down this Brandon Perry and spoke to him. Dante. Oh, my bad, forgot. Brandon Dante Perry. He actually came to the police station voluntarily, and during his interview, Perry confirmed his relationship with Veronica and also stated that, yes, that he knew who Diego was because earlier that summer, I believe it was August, he attended a party where Veronica estaba ahí con Diego together. As far as...
To make him jealous, maybe?
Quién sabe? I don't know. As far as to what happened to Diego, he said that he didn't know anything about him really, and he didn't know him like that. And that night that Diego was killed, he was at his friend's house, Tommy Medina. And then that he went home. And much like
all these people are just going to their friends' houses. It's like, fuck. Uno para la Kimberly, el otro con el Tony. Like, come on, man.
Tommy.
Oh, Tommy.
And me, who like goes to my friend's house, like cover my face. So Tommy, much like him, corroborated.
I don't even have friends. So
Perry's alibis.
I can't even go to nobody's house.
You do have friends.
Pues sí, güey. Pero you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like they're all, everybody, I'm going to my friend's house. No, wait, te estás haciendo güey.
So now, kind of, they were like back to square one, you know, por decir, with no leads.
Yeah. Did they talk to Tommy?
They did.
Oh, okay.
Well, Tommy corroborated la alibi del Perry. Now, the investigators decided again to go back to Omar to see if what Brandon Dante Perry had stated matched up to what they were told.
Yeah,
right?
What he knew.
So investigators actually learned that there was an argument between Diego and Perry at that party. Que lo vio con Veronica.
And that wasn't mentioned before.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, as he had mentioned during his interview, Perry said that Diego and Veronica were at this party together when he arrived with some of his friends. He didn't know that Veronica was seeing someone. And when he saw them together, he got upset. Perry and Diego then started talking shit or talking mess to each other. You know, they were hurling insults back at each other. And then they were about to break out in a fight when one of Diego's friends pulled out a gun.
Oh, shit.
So then Brandon and his friends backed off, but it kind of left like some unfinished
Oh, no, there was some
business
beef. There
between
was some
both of them.
That needed to be done.
And then why are people pulling out guns?
Because they think they're big shit.
Yeah. I'm like, can we not, please?
Imagine if that was your party and then I'd be pissed. I'd be like, you know, se me van a la verga, pero
No,
ahorita rapidito. Ya se acabó el party.
Ya se pasaron de verga, lárguense todos.
Please.
Before I call the police.
Before I call the police on all of y'all bitches.
I turn off the power.
I was just trying to eat some birria here and you guys are fucking it up, man.
Se me largan ahorita.
Se me largan.
Trying to learn what exactly caused the fight between the two was sort of difficult to do. When investigators spoke to Brandon's friends, they stated that Diego was the aggressor. But when Diego's friends were asked, it was Brandon and his posse that were the aggressors. So the police knew that there was bad blood between the two. But again, was it that bad that it led to murder?
Question mark?
But obviously, investigators have to go down that route. You know,
they have to think that way, everything,
right?
Yeah,
because you have to always think that there might be something there.
Yeah.
So now that they had a little bit more information of what truly had happened at this puro pinche party back in August, investigators reach out to Veronica and Brandon again. So all this is within like 2 days.
Okay.
They both go in for a second interview. So in Veronica's interview, they ask her if there was anything else that she wants to tell them that would give them any sort of lead as far as, what happened to Diego. And she says that she does.
Okay. Ya se acordó.
Pues un poquito. This time around, she admits that Diego called her wanting to get together on Sunday night, on November 9th, and que ella dijo que no, y le colgó. Then he proceeded to call her again 2 times, and both times she declined the calls. And then, she just added that now to her story, but then repeated her original story where she was with him.
Veronica.
Now, in Brandon's second interview, he went on to add to his story
También?
that he was with Veronica on Sunday night.
Oh, no.
And that just before midnight, she told him that she was going to go out. Que él no sabía con quién se iba a ir, pero que ella nomás, she got up and she left. And then that's when, like también lo mismo, then that's when he said that he went home y ahí se quedó él solo y que ahí estuvo el resto de la noche. Much like Veronica, he was very cooperative. So investigator Salcedo asked him if he used his cell phone at all that night, right? And Perry said yes. And también estaba diciendo that he used it while he was driving around and making calls trying to figure out where Veronica was. So then Salcedo gave
But wait, that makes no sense. So you said que Veronica said that she was with him. No. That Veronica said que she was... I'm confused.
We're talking about Brandon Perry here.
Yeah. So Brandon Perry, he's saying now that he was driving around looking for Veronica, right?
Because they were together y luego Veronica upped and left.
Right. Para la casa de la Kimberly.
Sí. No, he dice que él no sabe para dónde le dio.
So then, but he was looking for her.
Y la andaba buscando. Y la andaba llamando.
Okay. Got it.
So he's adding to his story también, pues.
Yeah. I got that point.
Yeah.
I got that part. I'm just asking.
Just got a little bit confused?
Yeah, I got a little confused because I'm like, wait, that's... Okay, go ahead.
So then Salcedo gave him like this map, and I'm not sure if this map was like, it was noted what area that was on this map. Pero él le dio un map, o le enseñó un map, and it was a map of the Orange Park Acres area.
Okay.
A Perry, y le dio un highlighter. Y le dijo, and asked him to mark on the map where he, to his best knowledge, donde estaba that he was driving around calling, looking for esta, Veronica Paz. So, el pendejo, I guess, sin darse cuenta, or his guilty conscience, whatever you want to call it, he marked close to the area where Diego's body was found.
Without thinking.
And Brandon doesn't live close to Orange Park Acres.
Okay.
So why would he mark that on the map? I don't know if he subconsciously did it. ¿Quién sabe? So now he had placed himself close to the scene of the crime.
And I'm pretty sure they were like, here? You sure here? And he's like, yeah, I was there.
You sure about that?
You sure about that?
You sure about
you
that?
Sure? And he's like, yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
right here.
That looks like my hood.
Some shit that I would do. Like I would be like, because I would be like, sí, no, yo ahí estuve, toda miada and cagada and shit.
So they had something tangible now to kind of, point them. They sneakily tried to get more information out of him. So Salcedo, the investigator, he had like some papers in his hand or a paper. I'm not really exactly sure if it was multiple or one or that it matters. But he said, hey, these are phone records, which I don't believe they were actually phone records. They were just some papers. But they told Brandon that they could find out where he was truly and what exact location just from those records.
But wouldn't people already know this shit?
Pero you're like a dumbass.
Maybe. Because I'm like, bro, like...
And when you don't commit crimes, you think you did something, like you got away with it, but do you really think you got away with it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, ponte a pensar, like, ¿estás estúpido or something? Like, whenever you said that...
I mean, they're not masterminds aquí tampoco,
No. I'm not saying that they're not, but they're doing their job, right? Pero yo lo que digo es, como ahorita hace rato you said que Veronica was like, yes, that they asked her, did you use your phone? And she said, yes. I'm thinking in my head, bitch, they
never asked Veronica. They were asking Perry.
Oh, Perry.
Yeah.
If he had used his phone and he was like, I'm thinking in my head, bitch, they can fucking track your fucking phone by towers and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
But I mean, también, like, why would he lie if he's like, yeah, I used it? Well, he wasn't going to say no, because...
No, but what I'm saying is, like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm fucked. I'm just going to tell you what I did, I don't know. I just feel like, since I'm not a criminal,
and you're on the other side, you can rationalize or make sense that I wouldn't do this, ABC,
pero hay
X, Y,
personas
Z.
que they're like, they just do it and they're like, oh, I got away with it. No.
For now.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I'm, like, talking to a void because I can't see nothing. I know you can see me because of the screen of the computer, but
get over it.
I'm talking to
a voice.
The universe.
Yeah, you're talking to the universe. The voice.
The void.
The void. Isn't that a movie?
Oh, girl, I don't know. That should be a podcast.
The Void.
The Void.
Maybe we should change
or a band.
Maybe we should change our podcast name to The Void. Nah.
So cuando le dijeron esto, hey, we can find out exactly where you were based on your phone records. This caused Perry to change the story up real quick.
A la madre.
He went on to state that, that maybe he had been in the high top area.
Maybe.
Pero es que andaba trabajando.
Oh, sí?
Yeah, he was detailing a client's car.
Oh, okay.
En la noche.
En la madrugada. A las 2 de la mañana. Okay. Okay.
At midnight, bitch.
Midnight?
So when they asked him who this client was and where this person lived, he couldn't provide any information. And at that moment, police had probable cause to arrest Brandon Dante Perry for Diego's murder.
Yeah, of course.
The incident they had at that party, they had beef, and Brandon placing himself in the area where the body was found. Quick side story. I found a meme earlier on Threads about beef, and I laughed because I'm gonna read it to you. Something about, why do you have beef? If you have beef with me, that means you don't have it in your fridge. You must be hungry. That's why you're mad, or something. Or something like that.
You probably don't have any beef. You have chicken.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that was. It was something like that. But cuando lo arrestaron, he was surprised by the arrest.
Oh, like what? Excuse me? You're arresting me? I had no idea. The person that pointed to the area where I was, and not only that, but on top of that, the person that didn't know whose car they were detailing?
Yeah.
Me? How?
So he quickly shut up. He stopped answering questions, and he asked for an attorney.
As they should.
Now, investigators knew that they needed more evidence if they wanted to keep him behind bars. And luckily, they wouldn't have to wait for long.
Porque la Veronica is going to spill the beans.
Veronica then showed up at the sheriff's department on the day, on the next day, on the 13th.
Let's say that she had something to do with it. I'm not sure yet because we haven't talked about it very well. But let's say she did have something to do with it. How can you sleep at night? Knowing that you caused
Bitch, I don't
this.
think I wouldn't be able to sleep if I ever somehow for whatever reason found myself in any type of situation.
I would vomit.
Bitch, I entro and shit myself.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Straight up. I don't understand how people can do that. Mi pecho no es.
¿Tu pecho qué?
¿Cómo iba a decir? Mi pecho no es
una bodega.
Una bodega.
Yeah.
So yo no puedo, I can't keep that. Yeah. That's too much.
Now, like I said, Veronica showed up on November 13th, around 9:30 in the morning to speak with investigator Salcedo. She was crying.
Don't cry, bitch.
And she looked distraught, and she was just going on about, she was saying, do you know how hard it is for me to do this? Do you know how hard it is for me today? And I want to tell you the truth. And y todo esto, y estaba llorando, right?
Girl.
And so all this is according to Veronica. Mm-hmm. Es lo que ella dijo. On Sunday, November 9th, after she and Diego both left work, he called her and asked if they could get together. She told him no and hung up. So when Diego called her again, at that time, she was with Brandon.
Okay.
And he saw the call come through and he got upset. So Brandon then told her to call him back and set up a meetup with him. That for Brandon, things had reached the point where he needed to send Diego a message.
Okay.
So Veronica called Diego back, and they agreed that she was going to pick him up.
She's accessory.
And before she picked him up, she stopped at a convenience store and bought condoms, where she is on surveillance doing so because Brandon told her that if she needed to have sex with him to do it, to get Diego in a vulnerable spot.
She's going down, bitch.
So she picks him up, and they drive up to High Top Lane with the plan to hook up, and where they also smoked weed. So Diego iba a andar como caught off guard,
Yeah, I mean,
real caught off guard.
Dude, first of all, we're talking about a fucking
17-year-old. But not even then. He was
I was about to say, he was big.
Yeah, he was big.
He was going to whoop your ass, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
so por eso lo quería pendejar, güey.
Exactamente.
Yeah.
So again, this area is desolate, casi no hay nothing around, and there was nobody there. So, ahí llegaron, se parquearon, and, things were heating up, and they moved to the back seat.
The party.
El party. And as they were getting busy, there was a loud noise on the car door. And it was Brandon, I guess, hitting the window. And then that he opened the door and pulled Diego out while, he was vulnerable. Veronica says that she froze and stayed in the car and saw that they were kind of like grappling with each other. She then saw that Brandon pulled out a gun, which surprised her. And that then she remembers that Diego said, "Hey, let's fight like men."
Yeah.
And began backing up. And
pobrecito.
And then that as they were, like, Diego and Brandon were standing like feet from each other with Brandon pointing that gun at Diego, that she closed her eyes and that she heard a shot. And then that when she opened her eyes, Diego was on the floor bleeding while Brandon was leaning over his body, and he shot him again in the face. She said that she was in a state of shock and that she had no idea that this was going to happen and thought that all Brandon was going to do was beat Diego up. Even though she knew that Perry always carried a gun with him. And even though he told her before he told her, I'm gonna make sure that motherfucker gets his.
Bitch, that means he's gonna shoot him.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he wasn't going to fight like a man because he's a little bitch. Because he knew Diego was going to whoop his ass.
Afterward, they both like got in their cars or whatever, and then they drove down the hill. They met up at a fast food restaurant and decided what their next move was going to be, right?
Yeah.
And then they decided to go back to the crime scene and try to cover it up as much as they could. But before they made their way back up the hill, they stopped at a gas station and filled up 2 water bottles of gasoline.
I don't think they know how physics work.
They drove back up to Diego's body. They drove back up to where Diego's body was and poured the liquids on Diego's body and set it on fire.
I don't think they knew what they were doing.
No, you know why the fire didn't work? Because they didn't fucking use gasoline, bitch. They used diesel. And diesel doesn't burn like gasoline.
That's even at that, you need way more than that for a whole body, dude.
No, but it was gonna catch fire.
It was gonna catch fire, yeah. But fire. But I mean, at that point, somebody was gonna go out there and look because there's a big ass fire. The neighbor.
So this were her version of events, right?
She has to go to jail.
Veronica fully placed the blame on Brandon. He was the one that came up with the plan. And then afterward, hasta que ya hicieron todo el desmadre, they met up at Kim's house, including Tommy, and talked about what they were going to do or what they were going to tell the police because they were going to come asking questions. So everybody got on the same page.
No, ma'am. They're all going to jail.
So whether she knew it or not, whether she knew that Brandon was going to shoot and kill Diego, she played a big part in his death.
Big part.
And that was enough for authorities to arrest her and charge her with first-degree murder.
And bring me la Kimberly y el otro también.
With special circumstances of lying in wait. And if found guilty, she could get life without parole.
Yes. Not only that, but she was able to get Diego to a point where he was vulnerable and he did not...
that makes you more than accessory at that point.
That's like, you're the fucking killer.
That's why she got charged with first-degree murder.
Straight up. Like, that is like, you
Porque si él no lo hubiera llevado.
No, y además de eso, ¿por qué le hizo caso al otro también? I would have been like, no, I'm not calling nobody, bitch. The fuck? Hell
You do
no.
it, huh?
You do it by yourself. Bye. I would have thrown myself in the car.
Brandon was charged with first-degree murder, and I believe he was held on $1 million bond.
Y todavía es surprising, pendejo.
Now, we're going to go back a little bit to how Veronica and Brandon came to be and have the relationship that they had.
And how old was Perry?
He was like a year younger, so he was probably like 20.
Okay.
So Brandon and Veronica met in middle school, bitch. And had known each other since and have had a relationship since, on and off.
Wow.
Since they were mocosos.
Good for them.
He attended Santiago High School, which was a rival school of El Modena, which is where Diego had gone, and it's where Veronica had gone when she was in high school también. And he was a star football player. Like, I believe he was running back, and he was the star of the team. Like, he had a bright future in football. Now, like I just said, Veronica, who attended El Modena High School, was popular, smart, pretty, got along with everybody. All the teachers raved about her. All the guys wanted to date her. So that's what she was. And while Brandon was more serious and more quiet and more reserved, she was more outgoing. So they kind of just balanced each other out, I guess you could say. So she liked the attention and liked the attention of what dating a football star gave her, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But things changed when Veronica, like I just said, who was a year older, graduated high school. Because if she was leaving and he was still staying in school. Now that Brandon didn't have her around, he's lost his motivation and stopped putting in the work his senior year of school and began to fail.
Oh my God, girl.
This led to him not being able to play football.
Please.
His senior year.
Kids, please don't let something like that get in your head. Please.
Well, he was the star on the field. Off of it was a different story. Like his coaches had worked really hard, really to keep him on track.
Mm-hmm. Because they saw a future in him.
Yeah, he had potential.
Yeah.
One of his coaches, his name was Ben Haley, or I think obviously that's his name now. He would go, cuando él no iba a la escuela, no iba a las clases, he would go find him at his house.
It's que he wanted him to be somebody.
Yeah.
And the thing is, whenever you're a coach and that your pupil makes it to the fucking NFL, like that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So he
gets drafted
or by a
college.
Yeah. I mean, college football is huge.
Yeah,
especially in California.
His home life seemed not to have been the best. Like he ran from home. He ran away from home a couple of times.
That's sad when you have that much potential and then you don't have anybody to support you.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine.
Yeah. And then you're a kid.
Yeah. What do you do?
So since he was no longer a star on the field, Veronica began to lose interest in him.
Oh.
It appeared that she wanted to hold on to like her high school glory days. It looked like she's the one that peaked in high school and then she just wanted to relive that for the rest of her life.
Girl, grow up.
Exactly. Supéralo,
bitch.
Yeah. And
qué bueno que yo fui loser, así que no tuve que superar nada. I was a loser, so I was fine.
And she didn't want to be dating a nobody, right? She wanted to be dating that didn't do it for her, pues.
Mm.
So this upset Brandon and
porque
his
se creía
ego.
Princesa o qué chingados?
Pues sí, güey. Se creía like belle of the ball.
Uh-huh.
So this obviously it hurt Brandon and it hurt his ego. And not only was he no longer playing, but he didn't have any plans after high school. And it made him depressed to know that Veronica was looking for someone with bigger plans in their life.
Do it for
someone
yourself,
that was
brother.
better than him.
Do it for yourself.
Always. So that was their story. That's how they came to be. That's how they had been on and off since they were kids, essentially. So now with 2 people behind bars before Diego's death, investigators knew that the case against Veronica and Brandon needed to be airtight. So they turned their attention towards their friends for more information. Who were the friends? Los otros pendejos aquí.
La Kimberly.
La Kimmy, el Tommy.
Mm-mm.
They helped him cover up the crime.
Yeah.
So they were also both arrested for accessory to murder.
Yes,
and
as
for
they
false
should.
statements that they made initially.
Yep, as they should.
Their bond was set at $50,000 each. Both of them were very cooperative with investigators and let them know that both Brandon and Veronica asked them to be their alibi that night. Since investigators didn't know if to believe Veronica when she said that Brandon had hatched the plan all by himself, they relayed everything she said to Kim and Tommy. Then asked them to verify if what Veronica said was true. Kim and Tommy said no. It wasn't both of them that planned it together. It wasn't even Brandon. Veronica planned it all herself months before.
What?
Since that party in August. Earlier that summer.
She wanted to kill Diego?
According to Tommy, aquí Mr. Tommy Medina, once Veronica had hatched this plan that she came up with, killing Diego or doing something to him, Brandon bought a .40 caliber handgun.
Damn, a 40?
And in October, they both went out to the desert and set up bottles to practice shooting.
Wow.
Investigators actually went out to this area.
I would do the same.
And found the cartridges from months before or from the previous month. They were later matched to the projectiles that were removed from Diego. And the gun was actually never found. But there was a receipt found for the ammunition, which Veronica bought from Walmart.
Wow.
Now, according to Kim, Veronica didn't seem upset when everybody met up at her house afterward.
That they had killed him?
That they had killed Diego or that, he had been killed. So in 2004, Kim and Tommy took a plea deal and pleaded guilty to being accessory to murder in exchange for testifying against Veronica and Brandon during trial.
Hell yeah. I would be like, yup.
You don't even have to tell me. You don't even have to ask me.
Bruh, I'll sing like a little bird. Yup. Hell yeah.
So Tommy was sentenced to 6 days of incarceration and 3 years probation. And then Kim was sentenced to 6 months in jail and 3 years probation. On March 28th, 2006, just before his trial was set to begin, Brandon decided to take a plea deal where he would plead guilty and testify against Veronica as long as life in prison without the possibility of parole was taken off the table. Afterward, later on, he was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison with the possibility of parole. So Veronica's trial began in early August 2006. Prosecutors argued that Veronica and Brandon both planned out the murder, and Brandon's motive was that he was jealous, and Veronica's was that she felt used by Diego.
I was about to say, like, what was the reason?
As someone who always reveled in the attention of a man, Diego only wanted her for one thing.
Yeah.
Sex.
Yeah, because he had his girlfriend.
Exactly. Yeah. And she didn't appreciate that. Like, como que le calaba.
Just don't have sex with him, ya?
And especially somebody that was younger.
That's stupid.
Right? Like, but like, you know, people's minds, quién sabe,
you know? Fuck? Girl, just don't have... Dile que no, ya.
Búscate otro.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And like you say, he would only reach out to her when him and Darlene were, like, on the outs or whatever.
Y también para que abra las patas ella.
Pues, es que he was a wrestling star, pues. She wanted to relive the glory days que no tenía con aquel pendejo Brandon.
This is stupid.
So obviously Brandon was the prosecution's star witness. Mm-hmm. And on the stand, he stated that it was Veronica who came up with the plan months before. Sometime around September, Veronica kept on telling him that Diego wouldn't stop bothering her y que le decía, when are you just going to kill him already?
What?
How do you just throw those words around like that?
You can't say
like, it's
that.
not a game.
What the fuck? This is somebody's life. Like, oh my God. That is crazy to me.
And because of his jealousy, este pendejo did it. Now, Brandon wasn't the only person que got into it with because of Veronica. También se pasaba amenazando a otros.
What the?
Yeah.
So then why kill him and why shoot him in the face?
Because Veronica lo convenció, pues.
Wow.
Also, as evidence against Veronica during the trial were Kim and Tommy's testimonies, of course. The receipt that she purchased the ammunition at Walmart, the receipt of her buying the condoms, her phone records that show that Diego had called her and she had called him back, getting him to go to meet up. And other calls between her también and Brandon Perry.
What's wrong?
There's like a little bug here on
y
my
luego
screen.
También they found, she said that they were smoking weed and they found a broken lighter.
Yeah.
So
maybe that was a lighter también that they used to
turn him on, you know?
Burn him. So her defense team was going to argue that while she did help Brandon in setting up Diego and cover up the crime, she didn't conspire with him to kill him. It was all Brandon's idea since he was obsessed with her. And his thing was that if I can have her, nobody else can.
Wow.
And he was going to make sure that she went down with him.
I need to see what she looks like.
So she reluctantly agreed to this plan only because she thought that it was going to be a fist fight and because she kind of sort of felt threatened by him.
What?
Yeah. So now on December 15th, 2006, Veronica was found guilty of first-degree murder and not the special circumstances of lying in wait, since it wasn't proven that she led Diego to High Top Lane to get killed. She was sentenced to 25 years to life with the possibility of parole.
Oh, okay.
So now, on June 23rd, 2008, Veronica's conviction was overturned due to a technicality having to do with jury instructions, and a new trial was going to be set.
Okay.
But just before the new trial began, the prosecution approached her with a plea deal. They would drop the first-degree murder charge if she pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, where she no estaba pendeja, and she agreed to. Mm-hmm. She was once again sentenced, but this time to 15 years to life with the possibility of parole. Now, she was going to be up for parole, I believe, in 2018. And I couldn't find anything if she was released then. But I did find that she did have a parole hearing scheduled for June 24th, 2022, but it wasn't able to find if she actually got paroled out or not.
And I'm pretty sure you won't be able to find that information.
So as for Brandon Perry, he is still in prison and he will be eligible for parole in 2028.
So both of them are eligible for parole.
Yeah. Well, they both took plea deals in the end. Wow. You know, because if she would have been found guilty of first-degree murder with the special circumstances of lying in wait, she would have gone to prison for life without the possibility of parole.
Yeah.
But, you know, she wasn't found guilty of the special circumstances. So that's why she just got 25 to life. But then when her shit got overturned, she took the plea deal that it was offered to her. She was like, pendeja no voy a estar. I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have another trial. Y yesterday, right off the bat, he's like, no, plea deal.
For real.
And then obviously Diego's family felt like it was just kind of like a sort of like a slap on the wrist.
It is a slap on the
wrist.
Because
that was what, 25 years to life. She's still young, right? Hay que decir.
40.
Por ahí.
45 por ahí.
Y aquel también baboso, 3 years faltan para el 2028. Y Diego?
Yeah.
He doesn't get a chance to build a life.
Or do nothing. That is horrible.
Yeah. So that's the case. The murder of Diego Gonzalez.
And I am shocked because I feel like I just saw her and she is not all that.
And then
Perry had a fucking his hair, like, motherfucker was almost bald. Like, bitch, where the fuck is your hairline? So
this is when you murder people, that's what happens.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm just saying, like, unnecessary.
All of it.
All of it. You could have always, you know what? The word for today is going to be say no. No, no, no. I'm not going to kill anybody. No, I'm not going to go and set them up. No, I'm not going to go and, no. It's not that hard, guys. It's not that hard. Just say no. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And if you would like to follow us on Instagram, you can at
Cafecito and Crime Pod. And if you would like to download our episodes, share our podcast, rate us, we would really appreciate it. You can also listen to us anywhere that you listen to podcasts, including YouTube now, audio only.
And you can subscribe and welcome to my channel. So let us know how we did, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.